right, dudes, let's look at my note page for this life philosophy video. Here you go. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a target from a SIG 716 Gen 2 3-round group in 2019. An incredible group from a sapper, by the way. That gun has been sold. It's gone. And, sorry, not my note page, but it is sitting here next to my note page, if that counts for anything. We're not doing a review here. We're not talking about guns. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about life. Another life philosophy video. And messing around with that, of course, not my notes. Here are my notes. Whoop, whoop, real quick. I wrote them down in about 25 minutes this afternoon. And strangely, as I look at them now, prior to starting this video, I'm like looking at them like, what? Holy cow. There are amazing parallels to these things I've written down to how I've ran the project, my approach to the project of being a content creator. Not really meant for that, but yeah, there are some parallels. And maybe I bring those out as we press along here in the bunker for another LP video, life philosophy video, brought to you by you. Oh yeah, one other being, God. No, I'm not kidding. No, it's not like an angel comes to my bed and wakes me up and says, hey, dude. Enough with the watch reviews. Enough with the gun and knife reviews. Time for a life philosophy video. Doesn't happen that way. What does happen is that thoughts distill upon my mind as I go through my life. And I see a theme emerge. And that's how this one came to be. I'm thinking. And really, for this video, and the theme for this video, and again, it's not really related to TMP or how I do TMP, but there are some parallels. It was kind of a disturbing theme, and I heard it from a lot of different sources. And I'm talking about these 10 life tips that I'm going to put in this video. And the theme is this. There's a lot of young people losing hope in life. There's a lot of young people that look at the future and they see it very dark. That suicides have risen. That these young folks, these teenagers, maybe not even preteens, they look at life and they don't see a lot to live for. So that has weighed on me. So I'm here in the bunker in my most imperfect and flawed manner to be a messenger of hope, a messenger of life skills that you can integrate to overcome that hopelessness, to overcome that darkness maybe you have in your life. Now, sorry, I might have a tear here and there. You just know that's a indication of what I'm saying is totally real. It always is here in the project. Flawed, yes. Very flawed, but real. I was going to focus this towards young folks. So maybe 10 more things you should teach your children was a title I had rolling around in my head. But I think everybody needs to hear what I'm going to say. And maybe you can integrate it into your life, and maybe you can push away that dark cloud that might be following you around in life. And you think, oh my gosh, nothing's going right for me. Everything's so dark. Everything's hopeless. I just feel like crap in life. Now, I said it is from God, and it is in the way that I think the inspiration for this stuff comes from God. I think all goodness emerges from God the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. All goodness does. And I think likewise, all evil, all darkness, all hopelessness emerges from the father of all lies, and you know who that is. And we do see a lot of that in today's society, and it has really, in a large measure, overtaken media of all sorts and descriptions, content creators. You see a lot of it in their messaging, advertisements, TV shows, on-demand shows. It's not good. But we don't want to concentrate on the negativity here in the bunker. That's not what I do. What I do is I want to concentrate on the positivity and things, skill sets, and approaches, and most importantly, attitudes that you and I can have in life to overcome what we are being assaulted with all the time. Are you ready? Now, I know a lot of TMPers stick around for the reviews. Some stick around only for these LP videos. They don't really care about my gun reviews. They don't care about my targets. Well, they kind of care. They're nice. They're like, okay, yeah, I'll humor you, but I love the LP stuff. I'm flawed. I'm a flawed messenger. If I'm looking back at my body of work that I've done as a content creator, if one theme emerges, it's that I am flawed. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because I forge ahead regardless. You're going to see that come out. Don't wait for things to get perfect. Nothing will get done. On we go. Life Philosophy video, Nutnfancy Project. It is 2023-2023. Things will probably get worse, darker. A lot of people lose hope, but I'm here to dispense hope, to dispense godliness if I can. Number one thing, life tips for young people and you watching this video is everybody doesn't need to like you. What? I need to be liked by people. I need to have them give me more likes, more approbation. My whole life should be focused towards gaining the approval of others. No, it shouldn't. Your life should be focused gaining the approval of God. Did he just say that? Yeah, I did. If you have a God-focused life, you will be happier. If you are running around trying to gain the approval of others in everything you say and do, or most things you say and do, you're like chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's not there. It'll be shifting constantly, and you're going to become frustrated. And that's when the hopelessness for a lot of these young people starts, because they just feel like they can't win. That no matter what I say and do, that I'm always embroiled in some type of conflict online, in social media, on Instagram, Facebook, with my friends, and I'm trying to be what they want me to be. Stop, says Nutnfancy and God. Well, I don't mean to speak for you, sorry. Mostly me. Stop. Not all people need to like you, and in a lot of ways, when you're forging ahead with the truth in your life, having people dislike you is a badge of honor. Now, I said there were some parallels between this talking point on life tips and how I do TMP. I realized this very early on as a content creator, that not all people are going to like Nutnfancy. They're not going to like my reviews. They're not going to like what I say. And I was like, at first, when I first started, I'll have to be honest, I was frustrated. I was like, well, why? I don't think I'm saying anything untruthful in this. I don't understand why I'm not getting more support on this. And then finally, it came pretty quick. After like a year or two, I was like, so what? So what? Not everyone needs to like you, Nutnfancy. Forge ahead on what you think is the true and correct high integrity course, and let the chips fall where they may. And here we are years and years and years and years later. You can see the outcome of that. That your life will go the same way. That if you continually try to morph and be someone you're not, fake, and try to gain their approval and their like, generally you're going to be highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. And this will dovetail into several other of my talking points, but we're going to focus on this. Oh, and by the way, you know who gave me this idea? I mentioned it to my wife. Mrs. Nutnfancy, this is her idea. I said, what would you say to young people now? And this was her. She said, not everyone needs to like you. It's not even from me, it's from Mrs. Nutnfancy. Figure out who you are and stick to it. stick to it. Even though high winds will arise, stormy waves will crash upon you, trying to get you to change, trying to get you to morph to current zeitgeist, to current trends, to current fashion trends, to societal mores, which are always shifting like the sands of the beach. Be who you are. Now, it may take you some time to figure out who you are. That's a normal progression as a young person. You're not supposed to be all put together at age 10. Maybe not even at age 17. Maybe not at even age 20. I was about 18 when I figured this life lesson out for myself. Of be who you are, and if some people don't like it, who gives a damn? Literally, that is the attitude I want you guys to have. Is like, okay, I really haven't done anything wrong here. Well, I'm not going to go chasing your approval. And if it doesn't work for you, oh well. That's the way I want you to be, especially in today's society, when so much pressure is placed upon you to fit into what are often very warped value systems that are not God-based, that are ever-changing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Figure out who you are, stick to it. And just because someone doesn't like your video, as in my case, or doesn't like you as a person, or what they perceive you to be, because they don't really know you, right? They don't know your inside. They don't know your thoughts and your dreams and all that. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Again, it could be a complete badge of honor. Expect pushback in your life. And this is kind of what I figured out in my teens, is I was tying my self-esteem to how other people thought of me. Right? So you're like, oh man, she doesn't like me. Oh, he doesn't like me. I'm a bad person. A lot of people do that. I would think most people do that. Sooner or later in their lives, their self-esteem will be affected by others' opinions of them. Okay, and it takes you a while going through life to realize, is it really going to make my life miserable if they don't like me? No. It only becomes miserable if you allow it to affect you and how you perceive yourself. And oftentimes, that's what they're seeking, which leads us to our next talking point. Boom, nice tie-in. Number 2, life tips at this point. Some seek your destruction. Right? And some may even wear the mantle of friend. Now, this is a life lesson that comes to other people late in life, and they don't really realize it. And maybe going back to talking point 1, they want to be liked. They don't want to create waves with said friend who's giving them life advice, who's telling them the way they should go. And so they listen to those voices, and as the years go by, they find out that that advice wasn't advice at all. It was nothing more than a route or a pathway to their own sadness. There's a lot of sad people in life, and you know what they like? Other people to be sad like them. It's a life true, sister, brother, that they, for whatever reason, have failed in their life, and then they see someone else with a vector towards happiness, towards hope, towards accomplishment. And they feel like it's their duty to derail that person, to seek their destruction. Now, I don't want to condemn these people and go, oh, they're evil and they're seeking your destruction. It's not always like that. In fact, they probably don't even know what they're doing. It's quite insidious. They might think that they're trying to help you. They do. They think, oh, I'm going to try to help Lisa because she's dating this guy and I don't think that's the best thing for her. But in reality, they don't have your best interests at heart. You know who does? Here we go again. God does. Why do I use my cone? Because I want to emphasize that. That God the Father knows who you are. you are a child of his, he only wants the absolute best for you. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to go through a lot of hardship in your life. In fact, that's part and parcel for this mortal life that we find ourselves in. We learn through hardship. So don't expect a magic wand or an angel to come down from heaven and suddenly make your life all easy. That's not how it works. It's not supposed to work that way. You're supposed to go through a lot of crap in your life. And you will. I have. And I got more crap to come. Everybody does. Another talking point coming up, by the way. You'll like that one. Others, for lack of a better way of explaining it, do seek your destruction. And they often do it by whispering in your ear as a friend. As your cohorts at work. Why is this important to know? Young people especially. Because knowing it is the best defense. That you should evaluate people who come into your life. And you should go, you know what? Does this person have my best interests at heart? The way I want you to evaluate that person's intentions, motivations, is to ask this. Is he or she saying to me what God would say to me in so many ways? And you may think, well, how do I know what God's going to say to me? I don't know that, Nutnfancy. No one can know that. And actually, I'm going to come back to you by inspiration. God tells me he wants you to know this. You can know this through prayer. You, on bended knee, through prayer, you can know what God's will is for you. Now, relax. That doesn't mean he's going to plan your life for you. He's not going to say, hey, I want you to do this. And then 2 years down the road, I want you to go to this college. That's not how it works. You go to him with a plan. You figure it out. Then you go to him on bended knee. Hey, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to marry. This is the life I want to have. This is what I would like the world to be. It's okay to pray for that. I pray for peace and love. That's how. And then if with that broad feeling about your life, when that person comes to you and whispers in your ear, ask yourself, is that a destructive or a positive influence in my life? And if you have the Holy Spirit, I think you'll be able to detect if it's evil. Not evil in terms of being satanic. That's not what I'm saying. But in terms of leading to unhappiness. That's what I mean. There's a lot of people that fall into this category. And I can tell right now at this point in the video, guys are nodding their head up and down like, yep, I know this person. He told me this. He did not have my best interests in mind. This boss told me this, or this cohort told me this. There's a lot of shenanigans in life. There's a lot of surreptitious motives that people have. A lot of whisperings in our ear. There are these people that come into our lives. Sometimes they're wolves in sheep's clothing, and they're trying to sabotage your excellent opportunities. You have a good opportunity with a relationship, with a job advancement, with educational opportunity, with a better move that would suit you better, and then they're trying to talk you out of it. Maybe behind your back, they're being more proactive at sabotaging everything about you. They could be talking bad about you, and yet to your face, they smile. And they act like they're your best ally, that I'm the one you can trust. And meanwhile, behind your back, they are doing everything in their power to destroy you. Beware. Beware. Choose your friends carefully, and you should have a very big outer circle of people that you know and like. You should have a very small inner circle of people you genuinely trust to share your most important life decisions with. Hopefully that is your immediate family. Hopefully you have a mom and dad that fall into that category. And if you don't, hope is not all lost. There's other people that can go into that inner circle that have to be vetted. You don't just allow anybody in your inner circle. I have an inner circle. It is very protected, and wisely so. No one comes in my inner circle unless they are 1,000% vetted, and I feel spiritually good about them. They're pure in heart. It's kind of a spiritual gift that God gave me. I can detect when someone is not pure in heart, that there's something there. There's something a little bit off. They're not allowed in the inner circle, and I recommend you do the same. Don't let someone who gave up on their dreams talk you out of yours. First of many Zig Ziglar quotes that I'll give you during this life philosophy video. He was a motivational speaker, quite excellent. I think a lot of what he talked about was kind of focused towards salespeople. But remember this, truth is truth, no matter where you find it. That's a true statement, he said. So don't let someone who has given up on their dreams talk you out of yours. And again, these are people that could be seeking your destruction, seeking that you are miserable and hopeless just like they might be. I'm not saying they are, but they might be. And so misery loves company. And again, the adversary wants you to be miserable. He does want you to give up hope. He wants you to give up on your dreams. He wants you to just be in the dark. Yep. True friends don't plant doubts in your heart. Remember that. That's me, not ZZ. True friends don't plant doubts in your heart. They plant hope. Did you hear that? They plant hope. So when someone you talk to and they're in your inner circle and you talk to them and you feel hopeful, you feel bright, you feel happy, you feel at ease, you feel peace, that person is giving you part of what God has in store for you. And he may be sent to you by God to give you motivation. He's not seeking your destruction. He's seeking your advancement. Your rise to greatness as a child of God. And yes, you will have people placed in your pathway that are righteous and are good, that are trustworthy. I don't want to paint people as like, oh, you got to be suspicious of everybody. I'm just saying be careful, especially you young people, especially in school, high school, college. Be careful of who you associate with because they may want you to be quite unhappy. I like that one. Some may seek your destruction. That is a good life tip. Watch out. Next one. I like this one too. Okay, I'll just say it. Everyone else has big problems too. Everyone else has big problems too. A lot of young people go through life, and especially in the age of social media, again, Instagram, TikTok, especially TikTok, man, that's an agent for self-doubt if there ever was one. Facebook, if anyone uses that anymore, YouTube for sure. And they look at this portrayed standard of youth. And a lot of young people come away very depressed at that because, number one, they say, I don't look right. I'm plain looking. I'm ugly. I'm not cute like that girl. I'll never have anybody in life. I don't go to Europe like that person does. I don't take selfies in front of supercars. I don't go on vacations all the time. I don't make a lot of money. And there is an artificial lifestyle that is promoted through many of these videos and whatever postings. And especially young girls are consuming this, and they don't come away hopeful. They don't come away happy. They don't come away motivated and energized and believing in themselves. In fact, it's just the opposite. And a lot of you parents with these teenage girls, again, are probably nodding in agreement at this point. You might be going, yep, 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 and yep. Time to cut off the social media feed. Am I joking? Well, for your kids, unless they're watching Nutnfancy videos, thank you very much. No, I'm not joking. If your kid is drinking a poison, would you let him continue to drink that poison? How is it any different? So if there's a consuming of a certain product and it leads to a negative outcome, shouldn't you stop consuming that product? A lot of parents don't get that. They think, a lot of modern parents especially, they go, oh, I don't want to be the bad guy. And then I'll be the uncool parent. My daughter will talk about me to all the other kids at school, and I'll be, the so-and-so that doesn't allow her to have her phone. I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of evil that can come to your child through that phone. And if you don't know what type of evil it is, you need to wake up. If you're a young person and you don't have an adult overseeing your media consumption, guess what? You need to do it yourself. You need to wake up and grow up. Because if you don't, that doubt can grow into, again, a sense of hopelessness. Now, am I talking about every social media posting? No. There's lots of fun and wholesome videos and postings out there, just silly. There's nothing wrong with those. They're entertaining. But also, there's an undercurrent of self-doubt being sold to our young people. And not just the girls, boys too. Especially the attack on masculinity that this progressivism has brought to our society, that it's wrong to be a masculine man, that there's confusion in the genders, not from God, but from society. What they're trying to do is promote a sense of directionlessness to an individual. Because if that person doesn't know who they are, they don't know where to go, who to be. And so you're kind of, again, without a rudder in life, and that's how, what the father of all lies wants. He wants you to have that sense of hopelessness, of not knowing who you are. And so there's a lot of that being sold via social media. Right? Everybody has big problems. So what do I mean by this? If we were to look at so-called perfect young person, whether it's a male or female on social media, and you were actually to go into their life and find out what they're about, you would find it's not perfect, that they have big problems, probably family problems, health, money, school, self-confidence problems, body image problems, all kinds of problems, all being concealed from the camera. And now you have these beauty filters in TikTok and the other platforms where a very plain, perhaps even ugly person, girl especially, can put a beauty filter on and oh my gosh, she's catfishing like no other. There's a lot of fakeness. That's the thing. The reason it's important to realize, especially you young people, that everyone else has big problems too, is because that puts your problems in perspective. Because you'll go, holy cow, I thought I was the only one with body image problems. I thought I was the only one with work problems with my parents. No. It's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. And by realizing that, it might just let you breathe out a sigh of relief. Okay, I'm normal. It's normal to have these problems. I'll work through these problems. Everybody's got them. Everybody's got them. And there's no perfect people. A lot of these people, they create these kingdoms. And I could come up with names, so I don't want to promote any social media personality at all. I'm not going to. But there's been like these kingdoms built up of people who had such a great social media following. They were so popular, and then such and such happened, and the whole house of cards fell down. And what, like that saying goes, is like when the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. So as soon as the truth came out about that individual, all the followers are lost, and all the hero worship is gone too. That happens all the time in social media. So and getting away from, I don't want to just be focused on social media and the artificial images often portrayed in front of social media. I want it to also go just in life in general, to understand that everybody's got major problems. It's hard. You don't need, without rule of law, to have problems. We all have them right now. All of us are struggling with health issues, money issues, work issues, societal issues. We don't like what's happening in society. A lot of young people are seeing this. And that is a reason, by the way, for me gathering thoughts on this video of why young people are feeling hopeless, is that they're like, oh my gosh, I just don't see a bright future for us when we get to be your age, mom and dad. Well, there is a bright future for you, but you in a large part are going to create that. But there's no perfect people. They're just like me and highly flawed, highly flawed, doing the best job they can. And if you do see someone who has this perfect life being portrayed to you, just say to yourself, I wonder what the real story is. Moving on. Failure is an event and it's not who you are. Once again, failure is an event and it's not who you are. Another good quote. Make failure your teacher and not your undertaker. That was Zig Ziglar. I love that quote. Did I fail in life achieving my goals? Oh yeah. Lots. Plenty. Now in past LP videos, I've talked about some of these. I don't want to go over all of them again. Just suffice it to say that there are times in my life I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. This is a very high hill to climb. And I don't know if I have it in me to climb it, to be honest. But I, on bended knee with God the Father, said, God, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to try. And I, for my own sense of integrity, have to know that even though I failed my first, second, third try, I'm going to try again. And if I do ultimately not succeed in this goal, I'm going to know that I gave it my all. And that's what I want you to do. Watching this video, whoever you are. Failure is a part of this mortal existence that we're in. It teaches us. Where's that quote I printed out? Oh yeah, here it is. Thomas Edison had a predictably inventive take on the projects that didn't quite work the way he expected. He said, I have not failed 10,000 times, he said. I've successfully found 10,000 ways it will not work. Thomas Edison. Light bulb, phonograph, motion picture camera, brilliant creations, huge influence in our everyday life. He had a ton of failures, as did most inventors. But what they had is a nice quality I call stick-to-itiveness, that they didn't allow that failure to define their life. What you need to do is kind of cauterize it. You just go, okay, I sucked. Granted, but I know I can do better and I will do better. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go, I will do better. You pivot. There's an acronym I want you to remember from the video. It's called FEAR, F-E-A-R. Forget everything and run towards your goal. Remember I said some people seek your destruction? You're running from them too. I can't tell you how many people, as I went through my goals in life, some in my family, like my mom, I've said this in other LP videos, that I don't think had my best interests at heart. They were taught to stay where you are, don't risk anything, don't achieve anything, at least you won't fail. And I just feared it out. I was like, forget everything, and I ran. I'm just like, nope, I'm running. I'm running towards my goal. I'm punching it. I'm hitting the accelerator. If I fail along the way, it's expected. I'll pick myself up and I'll try again, and I'll try again, and I'll try again, and I'll try again. And eventually, I will succeed. I will succeed. That's what I want you to say. Repeat it after me. Ready? Go. 3 times. I will succeed. Are you saying it? You better be saying it. I will succeed. There's 2. I will succeed. 3. Guess what? Every day when you wake up, you're saying that. But nothing fancy. I don't know if I need that. Well, you do need it. I don't care who you are watching this video. When you wake up every morning, I want you to say it 3 times. I will succeed. I will succeed. I will succeed. And thus will paint a positive force in your life. And you know what? You're going to start succeeding. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It says like, what are you talking about? That's cuckoo. No, it's not. It's legit. Positivity is your best pathway to success, even after failure. Pivot from failure, pivot to success. I know I've covered some of this stuff in past LP videos, but guess what? You need to hear it again and again and again and again. Yeah. Your best laid plans can and probably will fail. Maybe you planned something out and you did a really good job of it, and then for whatever reason, no worky. Is it your fault? Maybe. Probably is, but maybe not. Oh well. Make a different plan. Hey, that route to the mountaintop didn't work. How about we go around? How about we think out of the box? How about dude, like that cliffside is so steep. Why were we trying to climb the cliffside when there's a creek right there? Why don't we hike down the creek? Let's hike down the creek for a mile, and then the terrain levels out a little bit, and then we start ascending to the mountaintop. Think out of the box. Don't let failure define you. Moving on. Again, I'm reading these and it's like things I've learned doing the project, right? And the thing I have written down here, let me turn my light up here a little bit. This is the next one. Expect the best, prepare for the worst. So isn't that the crux of the Nutnfancy project? I mean, in everything I do, like my reviews, they're, gear for the good guys. That if things go south, it's probably good to have some good stuff to protect your property and yourself and your family and your loved ones and other good people. It's all part of that. But as a content producer, I was always kind of expecting the worst. And I've said as much in the camera so many times. I'm like, well, my channel can get canceled at any time in YouTube, my A channel, because I refuse to compromise my integrity. I won't change for YouTube. Well, you need to do this now. I'm like, no. Well, you can't show this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to still show it. And for now, it's still going. It could be canceled at any time, but I've prepared for the worst. How'd I do it? Well, I have a channel in Rumble you should subscribe to. I have a channel in YouTube. You should subscribe to that. And I have a B channel in YouTube, The Nutnfancy Project. One word. Subscribe to all three of those feeds. So this is, dude, the Rumble and YouTube was like, I don't know, probably 5 years ago I started doing that. But that B channel was put in place a long time ago because I'm expecting the worst, right? And I'm expecting the best and preparing for the worst. That's kind of how I've approached it. And knowing that this gig could end at any time, and I'll just do what I can do in my own flawed way. What does it mean for life, though? Expecting the best and preparing for the worst. Well, we kind of covered that, right? With that positive affirmation that you're going to say. Right? When you wake up, what I say? I will succeed, right? Isn't that expecting the best? Right? As opposed to waking up and going like Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh. Oh, poor me. Poor me. I'm going to fail again today. Oh, nobody likes me. I have no opportunities in life. I'm just going to fail again. Why even try? I'm going to give a half-hearted attempt at the day yet again. Is that how you're approaching life? Because if so, you're expecting the worst, and you're probably going to get the worst. Expect the best. Prepare for the worst. Because again, the best laid plans may go south. It may not be your fault. But you're going to expect success. And the way you do it is by getting rid of all those mental blocks in your head that cobweb up your thinking. Get rid of all that stuff. And again, choose your friends carefully. Some seek your destruction. Get rid of those. The naysayers in your life. Thanks for your association. I got to press on. And remain hopeful. And know that ultimately who has your back. You do Nutnfancy? Yes. I do have your back, but someone way more important than me. God has your back. That's who has your back. Remember, he only wants the best for you. He wants you to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Seems like a saying somewhere. He does. He has your back. Expect the best, prepare for the worst. And this applies to everything in your relationships. Right? Maybe if we were to apply that saying in terms of relationships to our lives, then expecting the best is I'm going to be happy. I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to love them. We're We're going to have great vacations together. We're going to make great memories together with outdoor excursions and adventures. But I do know that at any given time, they can be taken from me, that one could die. Raise your hand if that has happened to you in your life. My dad died a violent death. My 2 brothers are dead. Paul, my brother, died a violent death. My little brother died of scarlet fever. My sister's dead. They can be taken from you like that. Now, when my dad died many years ago, crashing in our private plane, by the way, here he was, a Vietnam veteran, 2 tours in Vietnam, flying OV-10 Broncos. He gets killed in our private plane. That came early in my life. In a way, it's good it did, because it really framed how I thought about life. And it's just this: expect the best, but prepare for the worst. And expect the best means also that I'm going to invest my time wisely with my loved ones. That I'm not going to take them for granted. I'm not going to take anything for granted. Not any day I've been given by God. It's all going to be maxed out. A lot of what you see of how I live, at least the soda straw you see of my life through the camera here, is my life philosophy. So it's how I approach life. It's like, I'm going to max it out. I'm just got the throttles pushed up as far as I can go. I'm going to go, because I never know when it's going to end, and bad things can happen. Societally, bad things can happen. Without rule of law could ensue at any time. War could ensue at any time. And maybe you look back at that time you were given and how you wasted it worrying about the silliest things. I've met people like this. That some traumatic event happens in their life. Maybe they do lose a loved one, and they go back and they go, man, I worried about the stupidest stuff, that I obsessed over this and that, and none of it mattered. That's the perspective I want you guys to have. Hopefully this video will help you. I want you to be hopeful in life. No matter what society's doing. Don't worry about all the crap going in society. Well, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. Yeah, it probably will. But God is ultimately in charge. He will ensure that all justice is meted out. If there's injustice in this life, trust me, it will be righted before the judgment bar of God. I'm going to get to that too in another talking point. Now, in these LP videos, I'm talking very openly about God these days because I have to. I have to. The sense of hopelessness, the darkness that is sweeping across the world, not just the U.S., the world, the way you effectively fight against it is by light, truth, good. And the source for all of that is God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. I give you testimony of that. And that is what I try to bring into this silly little studio bunker of mine. But you will feel it as it travels through the camera and touches your heart. You will feel it. You will feel the Holy Ghost in your heart, and you'll know that what I'm talking about is true. And that's my job. One of my jobs. That and an occasional watch review. Watch reviews. Expect the best, prepare for the worst. By the way, that we're talking about in life, family relationships, but that also obviously applies to how you're going to approach your life in general, young people. So you should have preparations of food storage, sanitation products, ammunition, guns, things you can barter. I've made videos on that. I'm going to make videos on food storage. You should have, as much as your money will allow, temporal, i.e. physical preparations to sustain life if society turns upside down. And by the way, I feel like I have modeled that pretty good in TMP. That here in the project, you don't see me, with my hands grasped together, all clenched up and nervous and predicting the end of the world. And oh my gosh, I don't do that. What I do is I model, expect the best. Motorcycle adventures, rafting adventures, backpacking, shooting adventures, visiting people, being good with your neighbors, being a good person. enjoying life, enjoying the goodness that is before us right now. And yes, there's still a lot of goodness out there. Wonderful, wonderful things that we should be participating in every day. And we should, in our own lives, bring good to the world. We should bring an impact of goodness into the world to fight back against all the darkness that's out there. But along with that, temporal preparations, more will be said on that as we go along. But yeah, it's not all temporal. It's not all temporal. And expect the best, prepare for the worst. Again, health. Your health could shut down at any time. And there's a lot of TMPers that have serious health issues that they cannot overcome. And they'll tell you that. It's like when you lose your health, you've lost a lot. But life goes on. You just do the best you can. Maybe preparing for the worst is you have a disability plan through your work. You have a plan B if I were to be injured. Health is a huge gift given to you by God. Moving on. This will tie into pretty much everything I've said. Set goals daily. Evaluate. I've talked about a lot about goal settings, and it's amazing to me how few people do it. Now, I don't go through preaching the gospel of my life philosophy to just people in general, but it occasionally arises in conversation of the many people I do interact with in my personal life, and occasionally it will come up, and I go, what's your goal? And they go, well, generally, and it's nothing specific. And then I'll ask my two questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And you have to have a really good answer for those. If you don't, again, drawing from another ZZ quote, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Once again, the quote. If you wake up in the morning and yeah, you're going to say, I will succeed, I will succeed, I will succeed. Part of that is setting goals. I had a fake goal sheet filled out here. I probably did not bring it. Whatever it is, it's like a Post-it note. I'll put little boxes next to it of things I would like to accomplish through the day. Do I get to them every day? If I do a goal sheet in the day, I'll probably have 8 goals on it, maybe 6. I get to 3 of them. Because some turn into these nightmare projects, usually taking much longer than I ever anticipated. You know what I'm talking about? I see a lot of heads nodding up and down again. Yeah, like that. So, it's just I start off in the intro. I was like, well, I'm flawed. So, I'll do the best I can. And therein lies a sense of fulfillment. And that's what I want you young people especially to know. That if you write down your goals and you don't get to all of them, ask yourself, did I do my best? Did I do my best attacking those goals? And if the answer is yes, pick it up tomorrow. I do that all the time. But you've got to set goals so you can measure progress. Again, not a lot of people do that. I think the main reason they don't do that is because they're afraid. Because then they're afraid of revealing how little they do in life. Did you hear that? A lot of people don't set goals because then they have a way to measure how little they're doing in life. Okay, and they're actually approaching it backwards because what they don't understand is that a goal is a motivational force. Let's say you wake up tomorrow and you set 6 goals, and they can be whatever. Hey, I'm going to go organize the garage tomorrow. I'm going to join TMP Patreon, which you should have already done, by the way. I'm going to watch 3 TMP videos. Okay, a little self-serving. I apologize. But let's say I'm going to go visit my neighbor. I'm going to go pick up trash on the street. I'm going to do something of service. And let's say you get 2 of them done. You mark the goal. You mark it. And that, my friend, will give you a sense of achievement, and it will motivate you to do it again. That's what I mean by saying that setting goals is motivational, because you will accomplish them. Maybe not all of them. Maybe some are very difficult, and they need to be broken down into smaller goals. Like when I became an Air Force pilot, I didn't just put down one goal, say, I'm going to be a jet pilot in the United States Air Force. That wasn't just one goal. I had 30 below it. What do I need to do? Well, I need to be a drill team commander in ROTC. I need to go to Skidum and compete, Southern California Invitational Drill Meet. I need to place well. I need to join the Arnold Air Society, which was dumb, but I did it, and it gave me points so I could get my ROTC scholarship, so I could get more points for my regular commission. I need to do well on all my courses. I need to do well on my major. I need to show up on time to all my ROTC functions, on and on and on it went. I had 100 goals in order to get my commission, just my appointment to go to undergraduate pilot training, never mind all the other goals that were follow-on. Like after I got into my major weapon system, and into the T-38, it wasn't like, oh, I've arrived. I don't have to do anything now. It was one goal after another. Oh, then I had to go through ejection seat training at Homestead Air Force Base, which was fun. I'm not going to lie. It was awesome, but it was still, to a degree challenging. Landing in the bay, going through all my survival stuff, getting in the raft, filling the raft with water. When the HH-65 came over to pick me up, the Dolphin helicopter, applying all the stuff I learned. Oh, then I have to go to survival school. Then I have to go to resistance training. Then I have to go to KC-135, Major Weapon System School. And there are a lot of milestones that I had to accomplish. Oh, then I have to go through multi-checkout phase in T-38's formation, low-level instrument, contact, keep all those current while I had a small baby at the house and a young wife. So I'm my dad. I'm juggling a lot. Goals. That's really how you break it all down. And it's how you can prioritize stuff. Because maybe when you write down your goals, you go, oh, that's kind of dumb. I want to watch Netflix. Should that be a goal? Maybe, but it needs to be way down on the list. You need to reward yourself. And forget Netflix. Maybe I can watch a Nutnfancy video. Yeah, reward yourself for hard work. But writing down these goals helps you prioritize and filter out the chaff, right? That's where a lot of people fail in life, is they fail to prioritize correctly. They obsess over things that are not really important, that will not lead to their greater success, their greater level of happiness and sense of self-achievement. That's where goals come into play. I use goals all the time. It's where you're going to actually put your dream into action. So it's one thing about dreaming being a jet pilot, flying F-15s, you're like, I'm going to be a jet pilot. But if you never set a goal and start your pathway in motion to that goal, are you ever going to achieve it? No. Zig Ziglar also said a goal properly set is halfway reached. I like that. Meaning that some of your goals should be so difficult that you really can't achieve them. I will depart from that a little bit. I don't 100% agree with that. I will maybe 60% agree with that, because I think a lot of your goals should be challenging, but they should be reachable. You don't want to constantly set goals where you're like, oh, I failed at it again. What you want is to fulfill that goal box and you check mark it. And you go, yes, I did it. I got an A in that course. Yeah, I did it. I succeeded in that. And then it motivates you for more goal setting and more achievement. And by the way, you never arrive. I kind of said that with the Air Force example, but in life, you never arrive. You don't ever go to one point in your life, kids, you get there and you go, yes, I've arrived. I've achieved everything in life. It's just like this project I'm doing, TMP. When will I be done with a project? If I can remain healthy and the world can keep going, never. I will always have something to say. I will always have something to review. I will always have an adventure to review. Now, I plan for the best and expect the worst. Things can shut down. My feeds can get shut down. I could have some major debilitating injury or health issue out of my control. But I do the best I can in my own flawed way. Right? So that's what I want you to do. And I say kids because a lot of this is focused towards young people. Everyone else is welcome to come along as well. Next, moving on. Where are we at time-wise? Oh, dude, totally feature length. We're having a good conversation, though, right? It's going to be over an hour. Number, whatever it is, I kind of rearranged the order. That's why I'm not saying numbers. But next point is few are born gifted. Getting back to social media. So with teenage girls especially, they look at these girls and maybe they're using beauty filters, maybe they're not, maybe they're using special makeup techniques, and maybe some of them are just born beautiful. Fine. But that's pretty rare. Most of us are fairly average in a lot of different ways. And understanding that averageness is a way to accept and love yourself. Because sometimes, and let's get away from the looks thing, let's just look at intelligence. My wife said this to me the other day. She goes, well, everyone thinks they're born smart, and really it's not that at all. It's just work ethic. And I'm like, bingo. Yeah, so like college, it's like someone pulls down A's in college. For years, I've heard people go, oh, they're so smart. It's like, that doesn't really equate to intelligence at all, doing well in college. Granted, you might be able to read something and regurgitate it memory-wise. There is some level of intelligence with that. But it really, to me, indicates goal setting, prioritization, and work. That's what a grade represents. And there's some people who are quite average in intelligence that do quite well at school and actually go on to grad school, do quite well at grad school. Some go on to be doctorates and they become doctors. And yet, in reality, they're not any smarter than you or I. It's just they have a goal, they reach a goal, they have many goals to get to that goal, and they have a work ethic. Usually it's work ethic and just stick-to-itiveness. Once again, that word. Yep. It's not what you've got, it's what you use that makes a difference. Another great quote from ZZ. It's not what you got, but what you use. We need to get away, you young people need to get away with thinking, well, she's born with all this talent. Well, you have talents. That's the thing. Everybody's given a talent. You may be able to play the piano. You may be able to draw. Like my son, Last Suspect, incredible artist. Here's just a couple things he just scribbled out. Incredible artist. So that's one of his gifts. True artistry. And by the way, this is some of his old stuff. You ought to see his current stuff. We're talking like top level artist. But he works extremely hard at it. So even though he had the beginnings of it, he doesn't just sit back and go, well, I'm gifted. I don't have to improve. No, quite the opposite. He goes, I have the underpinnings for this, but I'm going to get good. I mean, literally, he has spent thousands of hours perfecting his art. Last Suspect, my youngest kid. And that's what it takes. Some talent for sure, but he just didn't sit on it. He's going to, advance it. So everybody has a talent. Find out what that talent is. Develop it. If it makes you happy, develop it more. Maybe, just maybe, you can make a living off it. But not necessarily. Was I born a jet pilot? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, early on in life, like in my own way of thinking about myself, I always thought about myself as a pilot. I mean, I would sit on top of a Caterpillar bulldozer heavy machinery piece, and I would set up a cardboard box and pretend like I'm flying a B-17 or a P-51. I mean, I'm talking like at age 7. So yeah, it was in my mind that I'm flying, and that's part of that mental planning that helps you develop certain attributes. But I don't think I was like born to do it. There were times in my piloting learning I had all kinds of challenges. It was like, this didn't come naturally. I had to work at that. I had to become a good 4-ship lead. I had to be a good wingman when I'm flying fighter-type aircraft. That was challenging. But I worked. You generally got good at it. And as a pilot, you're always developing. You're never, again, arriving. You're always evaluating, like, what did I do wrong? How can I be better next time I'm faced with that situation? Just like life. Few are born gifted. Most of the people that you see achieving great things in life are people who have worked their butts off. I find in life that the harder I work, the luckier I get. So let's move away, young people, from thinking that some people just have it all. Usually they're working harder than you. Moving on. Don't blame external factors. This is another thing that society does repeatedly, and this is a message sent to young people all the time, and it is infuriating. Oh, you're not succeeding because society doesn't like you. You're given the blackball by society because of your race, because of your gender, because of how you are. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. You don't have to do anything. We'll go get even. That is not a message of hope. It is a message of darkness. It is a message that tells a young person that they're not in control of their life. That there are external forces in play that they have no control over that are going to determine what happens to them. That is a lie. That is not a message from God. The message from God is it really doesn't matter what your skin color is, what gender you are, if you work hard in life, if you apply truth in your life, you will succeed. You can be happy. You can have a family. You can achieve the American dream. There are no obstacles placed before you. It really is up to you. But that's not a message that gains politicians in this day and age power. The message of victimhood does, that they can, convince a large segment of the population that they're not succeeding or they have poor paying jobs or a lower standard of living due to such and such group of people. So they're playing the hate game. They're trying to pit one group of people against the other, even though there's no truth to what they're saying. There's no evidence, nothing but an open pathway of success if they were just to march down that road towards Oz. No, don't blame external factors. Look in the mirror and say, what did I do wrong in my goals? Young people. That goes to me as a creator, once again, drawing a parallel. Don't blame external factors. So, for instance, if I go, well, why don't I have 10 million subs? Well, it's because my content is truthful as I can make it. Granted, it's substandard and subpar in a lot of ways. But it's truthful, it's honest and genuine, and to be candid, not a lot of people want that. They do want to be told what they want to hear in a review, for instance. They want to be told that this gun is awesome when it isn't, and I won't do that. I will not sacrifice Here we go back to the first talking point. It's okay to not be liked by everyone. I will not sacrifice my sense of integrity for more subs. I won't do gratuitous, stupid videos for that. I don't care. Fame is actually a burden to me. I don't like fame. It doesn't really do anything for you. A lot of people don't learn that until way late in life. They're like, why did I pursue fame? It sucks. I'm not really famous, but minor fame. No, don't blame external factors. It's because of how I do business. But as I look at it, I go, I'm okay with it. Because the people that I do attract, like you watching this video, especially to this point, are super high quality. I'm not a pop culture channel. I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell the truth. And it is what it is. So, cream of the crop come to the project. That's how I think of it. And they are few in number. So be it. By definition, the cream of the crop are few in number. I don't produce a video product that appeals to the masses usually. Could I? Absolutely. I don't want to. I want to do this stuff. I want to do meaningful stuff that contributes to the light and truth in the world. That's what I want to do. And by the way, we're going to get to that. It's coming up really quickly. Don't blame external factors. Another lesson that you should know is that nobody owes you anything. Again, this is flying in the face of pop culture messaging, which tells people, well, everybody owes you everything, whether it's due to your race, your sexual orientation, your identity politics. They owe you this. You deserve reparations or some other nonsense like that. Nobody owes you crap. You know why? Let's go back to that back one. Everyone else has big problems too. Just covered that. Everyone else is struggling. They're struggling just to make ends meet. They're struggling to make their own lives work. Why are they also in charge of you? Why are they in charge of paying you money? Why are they in charge of making extra money so they can put it in your pocket when you just sit down there in front of the video game doing nothing? There's a lot of people like that. And they feel 100% justified due to listening to the lies of society. That I'm just going to sit here and do nothing because that group of people owes me. Why do they owe you? Well, because, CNN told me that they did, for instance. It's a lie. And by the way, that person's not happy. Once again, that person usually doesn't have a lot of hope in their life because they've subscribed to the notion that they're not in charge of their own life. You want to get rid of hope in an individual's life? Tell them that they're not in charge of their own life. Tell them that all their work, all their planning, all their focusing on accomplishing things will amount to nothing, that it's all out of their control. Bingo, helplessness. What's society been doing? Exactly that. Telling them that they are not in control of their own lives. Who else tells them that? The father of all lies, that's who does. Because he wants them to be directionless, hopeless, and in the dark. God, on the other hand, wants you to be a self-motivated, self-accomplishing, free individual with all the possibilities laid before you, and all you have to do is decide which way you're going to go and press on without doubt. That's what he will help you do. Every choice you make will have an end result. Every choice you make will have an end result. That's actually getting back to goal setting too. If you don't set goals, okay, you will achieve nothing, generally speaking. And you're achieving exactly what you plan to achieve, not much. Okay, and if you blame external forces for your plot in life, same thing will happen. And by the way, that counts at work too. So maybe at work you go, well, this person and this boss isn't helping me. I'll give you that there are some external forces at play there, and I'll give you that sometimes it's out of your hands, and I'll give you that sometimes you're treated unjustly. But also your attitude on how you handle that will have a lot bigger input in where you end up. But if you get bitter and you start blaming external forces, what you do is you become like that individual in front of that video game console that is basically relegated themselves to thinking I'm not in control of my own life because I'm getting blackballed at every turn. I'm getting screwed by everybody. So why even try? Do you know people like this? I bet you do. Why even try? I get screwed every time I do anything. It's a lie. Maybe you failed. Maybe there were some external forces that played against you. I give you that. Get past it. Fear. Forget everything and run. F-E-A-R. Forget everything and run towards your goal. Run around that obstacle. Hike down the creek. Get to that slope that you hike up to. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Get off your ass and work. Maybe that applies to you. Maybe that's what you need to hear. I'm telling you this right now as your friend. I'm telling you truth. Don't blame external forces. If you don't like your job, find a better job and quit that job. Swing from one vine to the next. It's up to you. You are where you want to be. If you don't like where you are, you need to change what you're doing. Boom, more truth. Expect to win. I will succeed. I will succeed. I will succeed. I will succeed. Here we go. Moving on in this feature-length Nutnfancy Life Philosophy video brought to you by, well, all of you that are watching this video. Supporters of LP videos here in the project, always an integral part of what I do. And I do feel like most of this messaging is straight from God in my own flawed fashion. So I don't mean to say that it's angelic or anything, but I'm just doing the best I can. Which, by the way, I let off with that of how flawed I am because, again, drawing parallels with everything I've talked about to this point and what I do in the project. If I waited till everything was perfect, nothing gets done. Maybe that's another point we should talk about. I'm going to wait till it's just perfect before I get married. Why? Nothing will ever be perfect. I'm going to wait to do this life philosophy video until I've studied it out for 2 days. Well, I got a lot on my plate. I got a lot going on. I got a lot of reviews to do. No, I'm just going to forge ahead and book it to the bunker and film. That's my approach in life. Generally, it works out okay. Could it be better? Probably. Does it really matter? No. The message will be there. Forge ahead. Don't wait till everything's perfect. It will never be perfect. Your life will never be perfect. The situation will never be perfect. Get going. Get going. If you're just sitting around just waiting for everything to fall into place before you finally achieve something, you're going to be waiting a long time. And again, you're blaming external factors, which is a huge mistake. Moving on, I could do a whole video on this. I'm just going to mention it here. We're talking about 10 tips for life, being happy in life, overcoming depression, the darkness of life. Please, please, please keep a journal. I keep a journal every day of my life. Maybe you did not know this. I've done it since 1998. Applause to me. Am I being funny? Not really. You need to reward yourself when you've done something good. Don't be prideful. Don't get on a high horse and think you're all that. All I'm saying is that you should say, good job, John. Good job, Matt. You're talking to yourself, by the way. You're your own best friend. Good job. And when I do a journal, I like to complete a year, I give myself a round of applause. Good job, because it is a lot of work. This is literally what I'm using for a journal. This is a date book. I've painted it lime green because it makes me happier. This is a Salt Lake date book. I don't know. I get this at FedEx stores in December. They're probably all sold out now. But what you want is a short thing per day. So you can find a date book that has something like this. And your job in your journal is to fill all this out every day. And as you go through life, keep through your daily life, keep like a Post-it note or a card and write the things you want to put in your journal that day, maybe the night after you go back and fill it out. I could hold up what I filled out, but I'm not going to because I don't want you to enlarge what I've written here, because I do have months filled out. It's none of your business. At least, because it would be some of your business if you were in my inner circle, but I can't do it to like a public consumable video product. There's no way. Again, the outer circle and even the middle circle is quite expansive for me personally, but my inner circle is very, very tiny. But keep a journal. It will ground you. It will be a great way for you to reward yourself in your goal accomplishments. It is a great way for you to rant about things that upset you. It is a great way to record your hopes and your fears and be very, very honest how you do so. Do not lie to your journal, because doing so is lying to yourself. Here's a promise I will make you, viewer, watching to this point. When you write something in your journal of something you're going to do, I bless you that it will come true. I bless you that doors will open to you and you will be able to accomplish that goal that you have written in your journal to yourself, and pray to God that will come true. And I do this in the name of Jesus Christ, a blessing given to you. Why did I do that just then? I just felt like I should. Keep a journal. Keep a journal daily. You'll find as you express your thoughts and your fears and whatever to your journal, it will unload a burden. Maybe you have someone you can talk to that's in your inner circle that is trustworthy. Maybe you don't. Maybe later in life, you're going to have children that will read that journal, that will be going through events that you went through, and they want to see how dad or mom got through that event. Because like you, they were confused and maybe, yes, even hopeless at the time. And yet they see that you emerged victorious because you kept a journal, a life record. Keep a journal daily. Doesn't have to be something big, but I recommend you should have, what do I have there? About 10 sentences that I would write down. Be economical in what you're saying. Figure it out. You can't just go droning on. I do have an overflow place in the front that I'll talk about things. I'll talk about everything. What did I do today? Did I accomplish my daily goals? What's going on with the family? What's going on in society? Be super duper honest in your journal. It will ground you. It'll be a way to anchor everything I've talked about. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, set goals, daily evaluate. Everyone doesn't need to like you. Some seek your destruction. I haven't got to that one. Everyone else has big problems too. Failure is an event. It's not who you are. All that stuff is written about in your journal. Your life story, and everybody's life story, is worth reading. I've had people come up to me that they see me filling out my journal. They go, "What do you write about?" I go, "My life. There's a lot to write about." They go, "I don't know what I would write about. I really don't have anything to write about." You know what I tell them? You need to change the way you're living. That's what I tell them. If you don't have anything to write about, you need to get off the television. You need to get off the video console. You need to get out on the motorcycle. You need to get out backpacking. You need to get out in the Zodiac rafting. You need to get out serving your fellow man. You need to have something to write about, something to be proud to write about in your journal. That's what I tell them. And they're often like, oh, you're right. It's one of those life truths that hits them like a freight train. They're like, whoa, I needed to hear that. Some take it to heart, some don't. Moving on. Keep a journal. And sorry, it's going to be well over an hour. It is what it is. Life tips to whoever's watching this video. This is a huge one. Again, it's overarching. But we're talking about how to chase away darkness in our lives, reestablish hope, especially for young people. Here's the next one. Be just. Did you hear that? Be just. Live a life that is willing to be, hold on, how do I say this? Live a life that is up to the scrutiny of God. That's what it means. Are you being fair in life? Are you living the golden rule? Are you treating others the way you would want to be treated? If the answer is no, and by the way, raise your hand if you have not been just in life. I haven't been. I'm sorry, I'm flawed. I get angry in life. I do things that are unjust. Sorry. But I usually realize it and I try to correct it. Live a life that is ready for inspection by God. Be just in life. This goes back to, by the way, the first talking point where I said, not everybody needs to like you. Because if you have a sense of integrity, if you're going to be just in life, you're often going to have to say things that rock people's boats. I do it in the project. Again, a parallel between how I do TNP. My political videos are that way. My life philosophy videos are that way. But it's my way of being just in life. That I want to go before the judgment bar of Jesus Christ. And I want to say I did the best I could. In my own highly flawed way. But I did what I could. I forged ahead. And I would try to follow your example. I tried to be just in life. That is a huge thing. That when you wake up in the morning after you say, I will succeed, I will succeed, I will succeed, you should say, I'm going to be just. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be good in life. I want to be an agent of good to combat all this darkness that is falling upon society. I'm going to give hope to people who have no hope. I'm going to lift up people that are forgotten about, that are cast aside. I'm going to be an agent of Christ. Be just in life. That in and of itself will give you such happiness and such high levels of hope, because you'll feel that Holy Spirit come into your life and it will strengthen you. It will protect you. I give you this promise. As you strive to be just in life, you will have an overarching veil of protectiveness over you. And I'm talking physically too. I give you that promise. Be just in life. Be an angel of God. Everyone asks like, oh, these angels are going to come down. Well, I have to tell you, the angels are right here. The angels are us, serving each other. That's where angels really are. That's the way God intended it to be. He's not going to constantly interrupt our mortal existence sending out, well, let's send an angel for that. Let's send an angel. It doesn't work that way. Instead, let's send John over to his neighbor who's sad because he just lost his wife. And he expresses love to that person. Someone cares about him. Someone is empathetic with his situation. Be just in life. Be ready for Christ-like scrutiny over your life. Don't expect to be perfect. You will get mad. You will fall short. There's times you will be unjust or unjust. There's times you will violate the golden rule. Reevaluate. Do better. Couple questions. Are you being fair? Do you know all the facts about a certain situation before you get angry? Are you taking credit for something that you didn't have anything to do with? Are you stealing? Are you taking unfair advantage? Are you spreading lies? I could go on and on. These are examples about perhaps being unjust. Be just. That's really the overall arching goal for my life at this point, is I want to be just. At least I want to give my best effort. A good way of being just in life is you're actually going to help others achieve. Going back to what I talked about earlier, I talked about how people don't necessarily like you, right? And I also said, beware of people who seek your destruction. True. Part of that is, the flip side of that coin is, be the opposite of that. So be that true friend, that true inner circle confidant, where you do seek the best for your friends, for your family members, and that you are helping them achieve, and you don't really care if you get credit for it. That's just. That's righteous. So you are that true outreached hand helping that person, lifting them up. Look for opportunities to do that in your life. You want to chase away darkness in your life? Do that. If you don't do anything else that I've talked about, but you do that, you give an outreached hand to others and you lift them up to a higher plane, and you have nothing in your mind other than helping them and giving them a higher sense of happiness in their life, that darkness will be chased away. Be just in life. Part of that is you have a high sense of integrity. You know who you are. You're going to be true to that person. You're not going to vary to be popular, to be famous. Lastly, and this goes hand in hand with what I just said, send out love in life. So if I'm going to give you a life tip at this point in 2023, and by the way, these truths are eternal. I shouldn't even date them. They'll play no matter what's going on in life. No matter what society's doing, no matter how it turns upside down, doesn't matter if it goes into without rule of law, all this stuff will still be true. Proven true, and it's not from me. It's, well, Father of all truth, God. Send out love. This is one of the hardest things we are asked to do in life. We are asked to love God with all our heart, might, mind, and strength. The second commandment is like unto it, and we are to love our fellow man like unto ourselves, and like unto God. Love your fellow man. Love them. That one talking point that I had here plays with this too. Everyone else has big problems too. I've talked about this in other LP videos, and it bears repeating here. If you could see what's happening in that person's life and how dark and desperate their situation may be, you would be moved to compassion. You would forget about your own problems, and you would do anything in your power to help that person be happy and chase away their own sense of darkness and hopelessness. Send out love, and love will be sent back to you. What you send out usually sends back to you. If you go out in the day and you're angry and negative, guess what's going to get sent back to you? Probably anger, probably darkness. If you go through the day and you do a pretty good job, none of us can be perfect, of sending out love and thanking people for their work. When I go to a place to eat and I see people working, I said, thank you for working. I give them a couple bucks. It doesn't cost that much. Thank you. Someone appreciates what you're doing. Went into a public bathroom. The guy's just completely ignored by everybody. He's just doing such a good job cleaning that public bathroom. I gave him a couple bucks and said, you're doing such a good job. It looks great in here. Thank you so much for making this a cleaner place for us. Why? Send out love. Send out love to the most forgotten and downtrodden people that nobody looks at and thanks. This should be our job. It should be our mission in life to acknowledge everybody and somehow chase away their own level of darkness and level of sadness. The things that people grapple with will blow your mind. They've lost loved ones. They have serious health issues. They're in debt. They can't make bills. Send out love. Try to ease their burden. You be an angel. You be an angel. We don't need to send an angel down from heaven. We got you. You watching this video. You're going to be the angel. You're going to be the agent of good. You're going to chase away darkness. You're going to do what God would want you to do, and you're going to achieve high levels of happiness by doing it. Your own sense of darkness will just waft away. And you'll notice that. You go, wow, that Nutnfancy guy, he's a goof. I am. But what he said was true. I'm pretty darn happy about what I'm doing here. Applying that. Send out love. Got to wrap it up. I went over these already. No need to summarize them again. But I give you this is a true speech, talk, sermon, whatever you want to call it, delivered with utmost imperfection from yours truly. But so what? Whatever I fail in communicating this message, the Holy Ghost will make up for in your heart. So if I screwed something up, I'll go, well, this is really what he meant to say. Don't wait for perfection. None of us are perfect. We're all flawed. We're all doofuses. Get it done. God has your back. There is hope in life. You young people have a bright future, whether you realize it or not, a bright future, but it is up to you. It can be a challenge to achieve that brightness in your life. I've given you 10 things to get you on your way. Thank you, God, for everything that he does for us. I so appreciate him, his influence in my life, for allowing me to have this platform to talk to you, for giving me these, things to think about, to share with you. I hope all the goodness will find its way in your life, that you'll find peace, protection, health, and prosperity as always. This is Nutnfancy signing off. See you next review. See you next LP video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.